Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell down below so that you'll never miss another upload. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to heat train without the heat damage and to continue to grow and retain length. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, I have been heat training my hair for probably almost 4 years at this point. So April of this year will mark my 4-year heat training journey. It's gone by so quick, and I've been able to retain all of the length and continue to grow my hair. So my first tip is to make sure that your hair is clean before you use any heat on your hair. So for me, I do always make sure to clarify my hair to remove that buildup, the dirt, the dandruff, all that stuff that you don't want on your hair before you use heat. And applying heat to dirty hair can cause damage by baking in dirt, oil, and product residue into your strands. So next, after your hair is clean, it's important to follow up with a deep conditioning treatment. Heat is going to strip moisture from your hair, so using a deep conditioning treatment is so important. And every single wash day I do use a deep conditioning hair mask, whether it's the Shea Moisture Manuka Honey and Mafura deep conditioning mask or the Amika Soul Food mask. Those are my two absolute favorite deep conditioning masks. And if your hair has a hard time absorbing the moisture, another good thing you can do is to use a deep conditioning cap. There's one that I love to use. I will link it down below. Or also you can keep like a processing cap on your head for maybe an hour, and that will allow the deep conditioner to really penetrate your strands and help you to retain more moisture in your hair. So I also find it very helpful to use a leave-in conditioner. The one that I like to use is from Kenra. It's the Luxe One leave-in. It also has heat protection in it as well. I like to use leave-ins with heat protection in it just because I use heat on my hair, so it makes sense and you get that added heat protection as well. And I like to use the leave-in conditioner before blow drying my hair. This is going to also help protect your hair from heat damage by adding that extra moisture. And moisture is crucial in protecting your hair from heat damage because dry hair, of course, is more prone to damage and breakage. So then once I have my leave-in in my hair, I do like to go in with a heat protectant as well. The one that I love to use is the TRESemmé Heat Tamer Spray. I've been using that for years. And that heat protectant is going to add a protective barrier between your styling tool and your hair. So it's protecting your hair. It's doing exactly what it says. Protecting your hair from the heat. Another important tip is to make sure your hair is completely dry with your blow dryer before going in with your flat iron or any type of hot tool. That is so important. So when I flat iron my hair, there's two really good flat irons that I use. It's the FHI flat iron, as well as the Remington Pearl flat iron. I mentioned those both in previous videos. And also I do kind of interchange both flat irons. If you've watched my wash day videos, you will see that sometimes I use the Remington Pearl, sometimes I use the FHI. Both really good flat irons, and I would recommend those if you want to heat train your hair without the added damage. I do stay away from titanium flat irons. I tend to only use those at the salon by a professional twice a year when I get my trims. That is it. I'm not using the titanium at home because those are more prone to damage your hair because they do heat up very quickly and they could cause heat damage if you're not careful. So always stick to, I would say, ceramic or Torleman flat irons. And when using these flat irons, I would say for me, what has helped me, I do stay typically under 400 degrees Fahrenheit, unless of course I'm at the salon. She does use a higher temperature, I believe 400 something, not 450, but at least 400 at the salon. When I'm at home, I use between 370 and 400, and those are perfect heat settings for me. I haven't noticed any heat damage at all with keeping the temperature low and under 400 degrees. but there are hair temperature charts that you can follow depending on the coarseness of your hair, the texture of your hair. And I will go ahead and put one of those hair temperature charts on the screen so that you can see exactly what heat temperature setting you should be using. And also another important tip, I never use heat on dirty hair, nor do I go back in after I've done my flat iron or whether I put wand curls on my hair. I do not go back in between wash days to add more heat to my hair. I never do that. If you want to add curls to your hair or either preserve your curls, I recommend using flexi rods or maybe perm rods, something like that, but never go in on dirty hair and add more heat because you will get heat damage. It is just not a good idea. And I have plenty of videos on my channel of how I use 5 flexi rods to add curls to maybe an old silk press to get my hair a little bit more volume and, you know, a little bit more oomph. So my last tip on how you can prevent heat damage is to definitely incorporate protein treatments as well as bond building treatments. They are different, and I did do a whole video on bond building treatments versus protein treatments, so I will be sure to leave that link to that video down below in the description so you can check that out. I give all the details on the differences between the bond building treatments and the protein treatments and how often you should be using them both. For me, I'm not on a particular schedule anymore. Early on in my heat training journey, I was using a lot of protein and I was using bond building treatments very often, but that's just not necessary for me because I've learned throughout the years that I don't need to be doing them every single wash day because I don't have damaged hair, number one, and it was causing my hair to get dry because of all of the protein and the bond builders. So I definitely scaled back on those. I'm not on any schedule anymore on how often I use those. It's very important to just listen to your hair. Touching and feeling your hair while it's wet is going to let you know if you need that protein or if you need a bond builder. If you're seeing like those straight pieces or you're seeing that heat damage, definitely use a bond building treatment to rebuild those bonds in your hair. That is pretty much all of my tips that I have. Like, those are like the main ones that really help me to continue to grow hair and retain my length over the years. Almost 4 years now, heat training my hair, and I have absolutely healthy hair. It's crazy. And if I can have this much success in my heat training journey, you can too. Just follow my tips and trust me, your hair will not be damaged. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.